Hello everybody and welcome back to another video. Today I'm going to be scaping a DOOA Neo Glass Air. I'm going to be using aquatic plants, but it's going to be more scaped like a terrarium. I've bought the lid for this Neo Glass Air, so this means it's going to be able to hold a higher humidity, which should mean that I can grow these flowers, or these plants, sorry, in their immersed form. So I've picked a range, but I didn't actually end up using the Anubias Kusa as it was too big and I felt like it just kind of ruined the scale, but you'll see that later in the video. So this is just a selection of things that I bought. A lot of this stuff I've never used before, so I was quite excited to kind of see it and use it. I do have some DOOA things already, such as the Shizuku pot and the glass pot Maru. But the Neo Glass Air is new to me and I've got to say it is really nice. It's really quite heavy, the quality is amazing, and the size is 15 by 15 by 25 centimeters. So it's a nice little size to kind of just have on a shelf in the house or something like that. It's not too big or intrusive, but it's a really nice size to scape. So I've grabbed my tools, tweezers, scissors, that sort of thing, and I'm just going to play around and see what I can come up with. Doing something like this again is pretty new to me, but I figured that the plants are probably going to need some kind of nutrition, so I'm just going to put a really thin base of aqua soil at the bottom. I didn't want to use too much because aqua soil is higher in nutrients. I have seen that you can get a DOOA jungle base, which or DOOA soil, which I think has got slightly less nutrients in, which I think is more geared towards doing things like this. I might be wrong, so please correct me if I am wrong, but yeah, I had soil and I just thought if I use a little bit it's surely gonna do the same kind of thing, and it just creates like a healthy base layer. And then I topped that with the river sand, so I opted for this rather than the La Plata sand because that's fine and I thought that it might compact and it can kind of start going anaerobic. Whereas this soil is, sorry, not soil, this sand is the same as La Plata sand, I believe. It's just a bigger grain, and it'll just sort of keep more aeration, and it's just kind of provides a nice growing space for the roots of the plants, and hopefully they'll go down and sort of get into the soil layer at the bottom to provide nutrition. So I scraped all the soil into the middle, and then just went around the edge with the sand just to create a nice clean look from the outside. I just kept adding it till I got like the desired height, and I sloped it up towards the back, just to create that sense of depth, just something similar that we do when we do aquascaping. I figured that the same rules probably apply here. So throughout the scape I just kept adding as and when I felt it needed to be higher. The rock I'm using is part of the Wio Eco range, and these are the, you get them in the little bags, and this is the elderly stone. I've used these in a scape before, so they have been used already, and I've just used 3 pieces. I've just done something very simple, and they're just going to provide a base or a structure for the main plant that I want to showcase in this. It's a plant that I've kind of recently discovered, or not discovered, I've always known that it's existed for a while, but I've never used it and I've never really had a chance to fully appreciate it, but that is the Anubias Gracilis. So this is kind of just a base to hold this plant upright, if you like, and then there's just going to be a few detailed plants scattered around it. So as you can see, I'm just building up height at the back, just to kind of raise that third stone. Otherwise I thought it was just looking a little bit flat. Just gives an extra dimension and a little bit more interest when you're looking at it. So this is the star of the show. This is the Anubias Gracilis. It's a really beautiful plant and it's really healthy. This has come from Horizon Aquatics, so shout out to Horizon. But yeah, you can just see the detail on the leaf, the texture, the colours, the shape. I just think it's a really stunning plant. And I kind of like how it looks when it's grown out of water, which is why I've decided not to fill this with water and do it more like a terrarium style, just because it allows me to kind of keep that look of the Anubias gracilis. So I'm not even going to attempt to pronounce this, but this is a moss which I have never used before, but it has this really kind of fluffy light texture, and I thought it would really complement the gracilis, and I thought that it would look nice at the base of the plant and around the rocks. Moss always kind of makes things look more mature and kind of aged, and the way that this grows in its immersed form, it just kind of looked really nice from what I'd seen and what I'd researched on it. So I thought I'd give it a try. So yeah, just dotted this around and hopefully it'll sort of take hold and start growing over the rocks and over the sand. Next I went in with the Cryptocoryne Parva, just a small little accent plant, just to add some more interest and some more detail, but it's obviously not going to grow big enough to detract from the Anubias gracilis, as that is the plant that I kind of want to showcase and be the main focus. So as I mentioned earlier, I didn't use the Anubias Kusa, but I felt like something was missing and I felt like I still needed some more detail. So I removed some Eleocharis Parva, Parvula is it now called, from one of my aquariums, and I just dotted that in there as well. I don't know if it will adapt into an immersed state. And I also pinched some Acicularis from a Scape as well, which I planted in the back. So if they take off, I think it will be a sort of nice accent. And again, it won't detract from the main feature piece, which is the gracilis. So yeah, I've added those in there as well. We'll just kind of see how they go. But that was it for the plant choice, and that was it for the planting. So I just sprayed it down, filled it with water, just so it kind of came a few millimeters over the front. Hopefully that'll provide enough humidity for the plants to grow. So that's going to do it for this one. Thank you so much for watching, and I really hope you enjoyed this video, and I will see you on the next one.